Listen now. We're going to begin our story. When we come to the end, you'll know more than you do now. This is the story of the Snow Queen who lived in her ice palace far away to the north. On winter's nights, however, it was her habit to sweep down upon the cities and the villages and freeze them in snow and ice. Wherever the snowflakes swarm most thickly, there she flies. She's beautiful and grand, but ice all the way through, and yet she's alive. There once was a wicked demon, the very worst, the devil himself. One day he was laughing his head off, for he'd made a magic mirror which made everything beautiful and good seem ugly and hideous. The imps in the demon school were delighted. They said, "Now every human being will see the world as we do." They ran around the world with the evil mirror until there wasn't a person or a place left unharmed by the glass. The goblin was so proud of his handiwork that he recklessly displayed it to anyone who would care to look. The goblin mirror burst into trillions of tiny pieces. The pieces of the magic mirror flew all throughout the wide world and brought about even more unhappiness than before. Whoever got a piece of the mirror in his eye saw everything as bad and twisted. Some people got a splinter in their hearts, and their hearts soon became just like a lump of ice. In a great city lived a little boy and his grandmother. The boy's name was Kay, and his friend Gerda lived next door. Kay and Gerda were not brother and sister, but they were just as fond of each other as if they had been. Grandmother loved them both and often told them stories about the Snow Queen. Kay caught a tiny fragment of the goblin mirror in his eye, and another piece went right into his heart, which would soon be like a lump of ice. Kay grabbed the rose. This rose is crooked, and it's worm-eaten. Why are you crying? It makes you look horribly ugly. And Gerda ran home in tears. Kay had changed. He now liked to imitate people and make fun of them. He hated anything that was not perfect. Animals he came to dislike most of all, for they displayed neither logic nor order. A great sleigh came riding by. The driver was a lady, tall and slender and dazzlingly white. It was the Snow Queen herself, and she nodded to Kay in the friendliest fashion. She offered him a seat beside her. Kay was shivering. "Are you cold?" she asked, and kissed him on the forehead. Oh, that kiss was colder than ice. He felt as if he were dying, but only for a moment. Then he felt perfectly fine and no longer noticed the cold. Gerda saw Kay ride off with the Snow Queen. She was heartbroken. Maybe he'll die, she thought. "I don't believe it," said the river. "Then I'll search for him and bring him back," she said. "But how to find the Snow Queen's palace?" "Do you know the way?" she asked the sunshine. "Oh, I've never been there," answered the sunshine. Gerda stepped into a boat which lay among the rushes, and the little boat began to glide away from the shore, gathering speed as it entered the current. At last she came to a little house. 2 painted soldiers stood on either side of the door. Gerda tried to get their attention, but they didn't wave back. A woman in a large hat sat by herself in front of the house. She yearned for a little girl to keep her company. The woman ran to stop the boat and said, "How did you ever come to be on this river so far out in the wide world?" Gerda told the woman of her search for her friend Kay. "He hasn't passed by here yet," said the woman. "But he's sure to come. You mustn't worry. Have a taste of my cherries. You may eat as many as you like." The woman combed Gerda's hair with a golden comb. As she combed away at her hair, the little girl was forgetting more and more her playmate Kay. For the woman could manage a bit of magic, though she was by no means a wicked witch. She used her magic only now and again for her own pleasure, and just now it was her pleasure to keep little Gerda. She took Gerda into the flower garden. You can't imagine the magical beauty and fragrances she found there. Gerda's eyes turned to the woman's sun hat, and she spotted the rose on the hat. "Oh," she said, "it's just like the rose Kay gave to me. How could I have forgotten him? What a lot of time I've lost." Gerda ran to the end of the garden and out into the wide world. Winter had come while she was in the enchanted garden. Alas, how I have loitered! Just then a large crow flew by. "Good day," said the bird. "Where are you going all alone?" She told him the story and asked if he might know the way to the Snow Queen's palace. "Could be," said the bird. "Maybe it's this way." No, I think it's that way." "Oh dear,"